Tom here. How's it going? It's great to see you. Love having you. All five of you. Today I'm going to be reviewing Louis C.K.'s latest directorial effort, 4th of July. It's an early morning record. I got some coffee. Oh, yeah. Nice and hot.
Oh my fafa. I caught a Jana Badana. It's totally Yanada.
Coffee, please. It's coffee.
What upon a cha?
So yeah, this is the follow-up to his 2017 film, I Love You, Daddy, which didn't even come out because of all the hullabaloo, what have you. The movie stars Joe List, and he also co-wrote the script with Louis, and then the cast also includes Paula Plum, Joe's wife, Sarah Tollemache. No, there's no accent on there. We'll just call her Sarah T. So the movie's been playing in select theaters at certain times in North America. Supposedly a lot of these screenings have been selling out, and this one, because I looked at I had it on like the app, and it said it was sold out, but the theater was only half full, which I thought was weird, but there was a thunderstorm, so I assumed it was just because of that. And then the presentation wasn't great. The sound was not that good. It was too low, and there was a baby crying at one point, but thankfully maybe it shut up of its own accord, or was quietly murdered. Whatever gets the job done. I'm kidding, of course. And there was like some stains on the screen from something. I'll let you figure that one out. I'd rather not explore those options right now. Plot-wise, the movie is about a New York pianist played by Joe seeing a psychiatrist played by Louis C.K., and he's battling various mental health issues and trying to maintain his sobriety. So they kind of decide together that it's a good idea for him to confront his parents, and there's like an annual 4th of July family getaway thing. Joe, I'm just going to call him Joe. He's playing a character, but just for simplicity's sakes, we'll just pretend. And then kind of the major conflict is he's kind of the sensitive artist, and then his family are a bunch of drunken assholes from Boston, emotionally withdrawn. So you can see that's quality setup for conflict. Is he gonna get in there, reach his parents, get that emotional closure he's looking for? That Rudy ending where the kid gets in there, odds against him, works hard, gives it everything he got, and he sacks the quarterback, and victory is his. So maybe that's the ending, or maybe he goes off the wagon. We're talking Jägermeister binge, murdered his entire family, and then hangs himself in the bathroom. That would be like the kid, the underdog, gets a chance, get in a game. He gets called up to the majors. It's a tough environment, hostile fans. He goes 0 for 4. So that would be the bad ending. So, or maybe somewhere in between. So I'm just trying to put this in this is like a very Boston, mass hole type of thing. So just trying to, relate to people in those kind of parameters, like, the Pats fans, the Welka fans, those type of people. So a lot of different ways it can go. I'm not going to give it away, though. Not going to do that. So this is basically Louis C.K.'s version of kind of a well-worn plot. I've seen a lot, of a child confronting their parent or parents over a night or a weekend, trying to get emotional closure, and then arguments ensue, and there are the big revelations, that kind of thing. To put it simply, it's sort of like the indie dramedy mass hole version of Woody Allen's September. The mental health issues, sobriety, family conflict, it takes that stuff seriously, but there are the little one-liners, and Joe's just a master at throwing out the little zingers.
Joe, there was a moment when you just went off and improvised. You blew us out of the water.
Yeah, thanks for adding out of the water.
But there's also like some really big laughs, especially from Nick DiPaolo and Tony V. The scene especially where Nick sets Joe off. Joe has two prominent podcasts that he's on that I'm a big fan of, Tuesdays with Stories and Joe and Ron on Talk Movies. And he's been like talking about this movie for like the past year. There's some news reports that I saw that said that this film was being filmed in secret. So this secret movie, ironically, it has, at least in my little world, has been as hyped as any movie I can remember since like, the Ninja Turtles movie as a kid or something. I just kind of expecting like a Woody Allen ripoff, but I think it really is a lot better than that. Joe really surprised me, partially just because I'm used to him being a fast-talking comedian. But I thought he was a revelation in this movie. He talks about on his various podcasts his anxiety issues that he's suffered from and sobriety issues. That really comes forth in this performance. It just feels like he's really lived all of this, and he's like bottled up all this anxiety and family baggage and lack of self-confidence. I don't know if you can bottle up a lack of self-confidence exactly, so that's maybe a terrible metaphor, but you get the idea. And it just feels like he unleashed it into the camera in a way. The movie was loosely based on his own personal experience. I think that's a case where that really benefited the movie. It made it feel real. Other than there's a couple big dramatic scenes where you can tell he's not a real actor. The one kind of knock that I could think of was the sort of outsider friend character played by Tara Pacheco, I think. Feels a little bit like a plot device where, even if Joe acts like an asshole at times, she kind of always likes him, and then she's very likable. So we as the audience are, by proxies, are supposed to like Joe at all times because of that. And it's sort of like an annoying plot device that I see a lot. But she does come into play in certain scenes. So I found this movie very relatable, specifically in terms of, dealing with anxiety, family get-togethers where there are annoyances and issues. The emotional, withdrawn dad is, in this movie, very familiar. And I think I even teared up a tiny bit at one point. I can't remember why exactly. But I assure you, it was a beefy man tear. Completely manly and strong. And I was a big fan of Louis' FX show. And there's some comparison you can make to this movie. If you look at certain scenes and episodes of that show that were more kind of awkward and realistic.
You got a problem? You want to start something?
I'll start something.
You want to start something
You
here?
want to start something, you Boston ignoramus?
Your nose is bleeding.
What?
Your nose is bleeding.
Oh,
Here.
Jesus Christ. I'm stressed out. I'm going to see my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in about 2 years.
I haven't seen my dad since he died.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so think about that, you queer. Keep the rag too, okay? Good luck with your dad.
All right.
But I think this movie is more emotionally mature because it really gets into specific details about how you deal with anxiety, sobriety, anxiety and panic attacks, how you confront your parents when they're set in their ways and they're not really willing to change. So that's, to me, is what really separates this movie both from Louis' previous material and other movies that are like this. A lot more awkward and messy, and then dealing it within those specific details in areas, so I think that really elevates this film. It's not always going for the laugh as much as Louis FX show. But that also, as a result, it kind of makes The Laughs That Are There really hit harder, in my opinion. So in closing, I don't know how clear it is, but I did really love this movie, and I was surprised because I expected something stickier.
Well, all right, let's see it.
See what?
See the funny. Make me laugh. Go.
So yeah, that's it. And again, I'll link to his website if there are any other screenings. I get it if you don't want to see this because of all the what have you from Louis. I'll just say that, you know, Joe and everybody else that worked on it, they didn't do anything bad as far as I know. Since this is my channel and nobody's watching, I'll also recommend one of Joe's podcasts. Joe and Ronan talk movies. They banter back and forth. They break down current movies. They break down the classics. Just a lot of nonsense. If you like two comedians talk about movies and whatever crap comes up, that's the podcast for you.
Blockers. You ever see Blockers? That was one of the more really underrated comedies.
Wasn't it called Cock Blockers?
Well, I think it had a cock or like there was a rooster symbol or something. But I think it was just, I don't think you can call movies cock blockers. But I think it was called Blockers.
But what's blockers? Blockers doesn't mean anything. I think it is cock blockers.
No, I think it's just a rooster and it says blockers. It's basically cock blockers, but they don't say it.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. You can't market it as cock blockers, so you put a cock there. You don't call it blockers.
It's not called cock blockers. I know that. I mean, what are you trying to tell me? That it's called cock blockers?
I think so, isn't it?
Title. It might not
so is
work as a title.
blockers. So it's just blockers? What the hell's a blocker?
It's just blockers, but then they have the fucking rooster on it, so you put it together in your head.
Right. You put it together. That's the name.
Oh, you're saying they don't wrote it out, but we're supposed to call it cock blockers?
Yes, it's cock blockers, but they didn't. They did it a clever way of calling it cock blockers so it doesn't get the algorithm or whatever. Isn't that right? I mean, why would there be a cock there?
Am I like the square who's calling it the wrong thing because I didn't get the code?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes.
I don't think so, though. I think it's just called blockers.
But I don't know. I didn't see the movie. I just assumed cock blockers is a thing and blockers is not a thing.
Well, they're blocking their kids from getting fucked. You know, that's the blocker. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right. I'll look it up right now. You want me to just look it up?
Yeah, look it up. You look it up while I
respond
to this text.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another guy too.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe you're right. It does have the cock and then the blockers.
Well, why would the cock be there?
But it's called block. I don't know if you can see it. It's called blockers, but the poster does have the cock right before it. I mean, I don't know.
Blockers is not a thing.
But it says blockers when you look it up. You look up blockers. You don't look up cock blockers. So doesn't that make it the title? It would be in the B in the video store, in the rental store.
But type in cock blockers. But no, I didn't see the movie. It sounded stupid. I hate it.
I typed it up and blockers came up. So maybe.
All right, I'm going to block you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But if you saw it, you can let me know what you thought. It's fine if you think it sucks. That's okay. I won't be offended. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.